Right now, let me tell you about some brewing labor unrest, because there is some happening brewing at the Electricity Company of Ghana, as some workers there have been issued letters of demotion. The affected workers, we understand, had originally applied to be promoted to positions advertised by the company at the time of the ECG's concession with the power distribution company PDS. More than 1,000 workers who had resigned their positions to seek greener pastures at the PDS returned to the ECG after the deal collapsed. The matter has been the subject of dispute at the National Labour Commission and also brewing internal strife. In the studio with me to throw more light on this, as we also try to get the ECG for their perspective on that, is Benjamin Arthur. Benjamin Arthur is a labour consultant who is consulting for the affected ECG staff. Mr. Arthur, you're welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and good afternoon to our viewers as well.
So to break it down completely, and as we do this really briefly, staff who left the company when it was ECG returned when it became PDS.
That's right.
And they have had to apply for jobs advertised within PDS. Now, what they received, they are counting as demotion. Is that the story?
No, not precisely so. What happened is that the PDS, ECG staff, more or less, they disintegrated into two key, staff members. One joined the PDS, who had gone obviously to seek greener pastures, and then the ones that remained, which is the core ECG staff. Some of them were promoted.
Okay.
These are the people who have been affected.
So they were promoted as ECG staff?
As ECG staff, not as returnees from PDS.
Okay.
And the sad news is that these are people who have received due promotions based on their performance, and they've been on such levels for some of them 8 months, 9 months, some of them almost a year. And then all of a sudden you slap them with a letter saying that revert to your previous position. And what shocks me is that in the history of this country, it is never known in any public sphere, especially a public entity that seeks to make the conditions of workers worse off. It is not something that is anticipated, even in labor law. Wherever we have collective bargaining agreement, even if an employee is made worse off, what the essence of collective bargaining agreements is that you cannot make the conditions of an individual worse off. Yes, there has been some element of restructuring, but the gentleman behind all this brouhaha is a beneficiary of promotion, because he himself migrated.
Because I don't have ECG officials and officials who made these restructuring.
Well, I have all the documents.
No, hang on. I don't have them here to speak for themselves. It would be unfair to have a one-sided conversation that doesn't involve them.
I was giving you an example of people who had also received promotion.
What I want to understand
from PDS.
Okay, what I want to understand, and I want my viewers to also understand, is that what are the issues at ECG? Now, if we are going to make allegations, then we'll need to back it up with.
These are not allegations. These are not allegations at all. They are real facts that in labor practice is not done anywhere. If you have had an amalgamation or restructuring, you will not be able to make the conditions of a staff worse off. Yes, you may be able to reassign, but in this case, that is not so. It was also alleged. Yes, they have been made worse off. It's been alleged, that they are being made worse off because there has been a restructuring. Some of the positions don't exist. But that's a complete falsehood.
Okay.
We've checked all their structure. All these positions are existing, and I have a chart in front of me here that spells, or maybe you are moving from an assistant electrical engineer to electrical. All these positions exist.
So what I want to understand again is, when the PDS, when they moved from ECG, was there some sort of severance package for these people?
No. I'm not aware of any severance package, but the concerned ECG staff that we're talking about are people who never moved. They are the ones who kept faith with ECG.
Okay.
They are not the ones who moved and were fortunate enough to have been absorbed back. These are the people who remained who have kept faith with ECG, who worked with ECG.
And now their colleagues that went on to PDS are better off than them.
They are not better off, as I know, but there's what they feel as relative deprivation. There are a number of them who, when they left, came back to meet some of their colleagues because of the vacancies that existed, had been promoted. And some of them from PDS are crying that, no, these are people when maybe as of the time we were living, some of them were our juniors, but now we have returned and they are our seniors. But the world does not revolve around some of these fixations.
Okay, I want to find out what you want to do about this situation since you're consulting for them. But just so you know, just so our viewers know, we've been trying to reach the ECG management to get them to speak so that we get their side of the story as well. They've just told us that they are not willing to speak about it at the moment. So I just wrap it up with you about what the next plans are for these people who have been affected.
Well, it's because I have been called here to answer some concerns. That's why I'm here. But the next step, I'm not ready to divulge it on your set.
Okay.
But of course, these are people who are aggrieved. They are ready to take action, whatever action that is appropriate.
Have you engaged the management of ECG yourself?
Oh, yes, this matter is before National Labour Commission. As a labour consultant, I thought that that is the right place to go. It's a pending issue. And if I were to produce an evidence here, there's the same ECG management that wrote to National Labour Commission saying that they have no such intentions. They had expressed, such intentions before. So when the workers took them on, they wrote to National Labour Commission telling them that they have no such intentions, they have not carried out anything, and it's not going to happen. They have been given assurances, but all of a sudden, and what makes it even very sad is that you give them the letters and you are reversing them as far back as 23rd October 2019.
What does that mean?
What it means is that it's bad faith. That's what for me it means. It's a show of bad faith. These are people who have kept faith with with ECG. These are hard-working staff. One of the key things that is missing is that nobody is citing poor performance. So if people are citing reasons as administrative lapses and the rest, that's why I wanted to tell you that the same colleague who had been the HR manager who promoted these people is the same colleague who is reversing them. And so people cannot be made victims for somebody's lapses.
You see, like I'm saying, I'm really handicapped in having this conversation because we want as much as possible tell the story from different perspectives. Of course, we've reached out to the management and they've told us that they're not willing to speak on it at the moment. But I'm sure that this is still a developing story. It's not ending here. We'll still carry it forward as and when we get more of the information. But I take your very final words.
Well, for me, my concern as a Ghanaian is that we must know the role ECG plays as far as power production, power distribution is concerned. So if they are not entitled to go on strike, even though we have had instances where essential services sector workers have gone on strike, what it means is that you need to handle this matter with care. Under the labor laws, within a very short time, 24 hours, this matter must be resolved. If the workers get aggrieved, and the numbers are huge, if they get aggrieved and they begin to do whatever they deem fit to protect their economic rights, and it ends up in strikes and doom so here and there, nobody is willing to accept that.
Is that a threat?
No, it's not a threat, but
that they'll end up imposing doom so on us because they have personal issues.
Not what I'm saying is, don't also forget that you should be able to preempt a situation. Do you get it? If you are tying people's hand behind them, you must know that when they gather strength to untie the rope, definitely you may have to run for your life, and it's not a good thing to do.
Well, like I said,
apart from these 42 people, there are like-minded people who believe that if they also don't solidarize with these people, it could happen to them also. So we are not just talking about 42 people. We are talking like a good number of people. All right.
Like I said, this is still a story that's still developing. It's not ending here. I'm sure we'll certainly come back to it along the line. Benjamin Arthur is a labor consultant. He consults for the concerned ECG staff. Like I told you earlier on, there's been an issue of demotion there, and the staff are not very excited about it. We've reached out to the management. They tell us they don't want to speak at the moment. It is still a developing story. We'll bring you more as and when we have it.